This lesson covers how the second referee can help facilitate the match by managing game interruptions appropriately. The R2 is responsible for managing game interruptions. These interruptions include substitutions, timeouts, and delays. The R2 should also manage the time between sets, making sure the teams return to the floor in a prompt manner. Let's review the protocols for handling these interruptions. A team may request a substitution by either verbally or visually communicating the request from the head coach, or by sending a bench player into the substitution zone. If the request has been made at an appropriate time, the R2 will whistle and signal to authorize the substitution. The R2 will authorize the entry of the substitute and report the numbers to the scorer. Once the scorer has recorded the substitute, the R2 will return control of the court to the R1 using the ready signal. In this video, the R2 handles processing a substitution. Notice she does not leave her position to administer the sub. Her presence allows her to control the substitution from a distance. The R2 must also know how to handle illegal substitutions. To prevent illegal substitutions, such as the 19th substitution, the R2 will take preventive measures of notifying the coach when the 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th substitutions have been used. The R2 will also signal to the R1 when the 18th substitution has been used by a team. If an illegal substitute attempts to enter the set, but is noticed before the match resumes, then the substitution will be removed and an unnecessary delay will be charged to the team. In the event that an illegal substitution enters the set undetected, but is discovered later on, points may be canceled for the team with the illegal player in the match. If the illegal player is discovered on the serving team, all points for that term of service shall be canceled. If the illegal player is discovered on the receiving team prior to the serving team's first serve in that term of service, the points of the receiving team's prior term of service shall be canceled. However, if the serving team has made their first contact of serve for their term of service, no points are canceled for the receiving team. In all cases, the illegal player must be removed from the match and replaced with a legal player. Teams are granted 2 one-minute timeouts per set. When a timeout is requested, the R2 should blow the whistle twice, signal timeout, and then point to the appropriate side of the court. The R1 will repeat the signal. After 45 seconds have elapsed, the R2 should sound a warning whistle to the teams. At the end of the timeout, regardless of whether the full minute has elapsed, an audio signal should sound to end the timeout. If no audio signal is available, the R2 should blow the whistle to end the timeout. If the teams do not return to the court, the R2 should approach the team or teams and prompt them to resume play. At the conclusion of the timeout, the R2 should signal overhead how many timeouts each team has used. The R1 will repeat this signal. Lastly, the R2 gets in position and gives the ready signal to return control of the match to the R1. After a team has used both timeouts in a set, the R2 should verbally notify the coach that both timeouts have been used, and the R2 should signal timeout followed by the number 2 to the coach. In the event of an injury, a team is allowed a 30-second injury timeout. The 30 seconds should be monitored by the R2 rather than by the official timer. By the end of the 30 seconds, the coach must make a decision whether to have the player continue playing, in which case play must resume immediately, or whether to make a substitution for the injured player. If the coach wishes to substitute the injured player, then the necessary time will be given to get the player off the floor safely. The coach may also call any remaining timeouts at the end of the injury timeout to give the player additional time to get ready to play. Sometimes delays arise during a match that the R2 must deal with. If a scoring issue occurs, the R2 should be the one to troubleshoot the score sheet. Once the problem and solution are determined, the R2 should be communicative with the coaches so they understand the situation. If water, say from a leaky roof, or sweat are on the floor, be ready with a towel to help clean it up. Give the towel over to the players, walk onto the floor, and be sure the players clean it appropriately. Other delays by teams, such as delays in substitutions, delays in returning from timeouts, spilled water in the playing area, etc., can be subject to an unnecessary delay sanction. If the R2 requests an unnecessary delay sanction, the R1 should honor this request. This concludes the fourth lesson about the second referee and the second referee course. Thank you.